Russia finally made the Earth move, not with tanks, but with tectonics. An 8.8 magnitude quake rocked Kamchatka region, triggering a tsunami alert all across the Pacific. Let's just say if Mother Nature wants to make Russia small again, we've got no objections. Meanwhile, Trump shook the Kremlin harder, moving up the deadline for Putin to end the war. Russia, of course, answered the only way it knows how, by bombing more Ukrainian civilians. And Medvedev, Putin's drunkard mouthpiece with an X account, decided to run his mouth. Again, he threatened Trump with Russia's dead hand system, a nuclear auto-retaliation if Moscow is hit. United States, for the first time in 40 years, called Russia's bluff, and Trump responded, moving nuclear subs into strategic waters. Message received, rest assured. It's the only language Russia understands. Now the Kremlin's panicking, launching genocidal propaganda, threatening world war, and clinging to questionable allies. But Ukraine isn't backing down. Ukrainian forces are holding the line and imposing massive Russian casualties. Even Trump's pointing it out, blasting Russia's losses in public. And those numbers, they're not just stats, they're strategy. Trump is framing Putin as a loser, bleeding troops, losing momentum, and running out of cards. How's that for a turnaround? This isn't the end, it's the beginning of the end. And as Zelensky says, helping Ukraine doesn't just stop Russia, it saves the future. We all share. I'm Slavie. Welcome to Ukraine Update on channel Yarochenko. The headlines were loud, the stakes were louder. Let's break down everything that went down this past week. Roll credits. Trump publicly slashed his original 50-day deadline for Russia to end its war in Ukraine till August 8th. The new timeline was delivered via Truth Social alongside threats of consequences if Putin fails to act. Trump's new deadline followed a week of deadly Russian strikes on Kyiv and other cities. He warns that if Russia doesn't agree to terms, he will enforce severe penalties, though those penalties remain vague. He also posted, "Tell Medvedev to watch his words. He's entering dangerous territory," referencing Medvedev's latest nuclear threat rhetoric. In the same breath, Trump slammed India's trade ties with Moscow, saying, "Let their dead economies fall together." Russia responds to Trump's deadline with massive airstrike. Hours after Trump's ultimatum, Russia launched 8 missiles and 309 Shahed drones across Ukraine, one of the largest single-night air assaults of the war. Targets included Kyiv, Odessa, Kharkiv, Dnipro, and Zaporozhye. The strike on Kyiv collapsed a residential block, killing at least 31 civilians, including children. Rescue workers dug through rubble for 48 hours. More than 100 buildings were damaged. Ukrainian officials described it as a deliberate attack on civilians. This was Russia's answer to Trump's warning. Not words, but blood. While Trump delays and gives ultimatum, Putin has time to do as he wishes. This is the cost of delay, and it's Ukrainians who keep paying it. Russia launches 6,056 drones in 1 month. Ukraine's Air Force reported that 6,056 kamikaze drones and 199 missiles were launched by Russia in July alone, a record-breaking barrage. This isn't just a war on armies, it's a war on minds, psychological warfare. Russia wants to wear Ukraine down with fear, fatigue, and sleepless nights under sirens, and it's terrifying. Families sleep in bomb shelters. Children know the sound of missiles better than lullabies. People are tired, deeply tired, but not broken. Because no matter how many drones Russia sends, it still doesn't understand. You can't bomb a nation into submission when freedom means more than fear. Ukraine is exhausted, but unyielding, and every night of terror only proves Russia can strike the land, but it will never kill the fire in a Ukrainian soul. Russian state media calls for Ukrainian genocide. A new propaganda wave begins. On July 31st, Russian state outlet RIA Novosti published a disturbing op-ed titled, "There is no other option. No one should be left alive in Ukraine." The piece calls Ukrainians as laboratory rats used by the West and justifies their elimination. It also suggests Ukraine is a testing ground for US and UK military weapons and tactics. The article defends the July 30th missile attack on Kiev as part of Russia's righteous destruction of the West's biological experiment. It accuses Ukrainians of being non-humans programmed by the West to hate Russia, a direct echo of dehumanizing rhetoric used before genocides. This marks yet another coordinated escalation in Russia's propaganda. Earlier waves pushed Ukrainians are Nazis, then Ukraine is NATO's puppet. Now Ukrainians are subhuman and their death is necessary. The timing of this article is no coincidence. It was published just as Trump reissued an ultimatum to Russia and just after Russia bombed Kyiv, killing 28 civilians, including children. Russia is preparing its population for increased brutality by normalizing extermination as strategic and justified. It serves three purposes. 1. Justify past and future war crimes. 2. Cement hatred internally so Russians don't resist escalation. 3. Provoke the West to either react or recoil, giving Russia a propaganda win either way. This isn't just another propaganda post, it's a mask-off declaration of intent. Russia is escalating into full genocidal narrative warfare, normalizing extermination in broad daylight. And the timing is surgical as Western pressure rises, the Kremlin reaches for its oldest weapon, dehumanization. If this propaganda wave goes unchecked, it will be followed by more mass violence on the ground. History is repeating louder, faster, and online. At a White House briefing, Trump called Russia's recent Kyiv missile strike disgusting and confirmed a hard deadline of August 8th for a peace deal. He warns that serious sanctions will be imposed if Putin doesn't agree to terms. Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff is reportedly returning to Russia for unofficial back-channel talks. Witkoff has previously drawn criticism for repeating Kremlin narratives and minimizing Ukrainian sovereignty. Trump's language is finally matching the horror of Russian strikes, but it's still talk. The question now, does August 8th mean real action or is it just another empty date on a dictator's calendar? Republicans pushed new sanctions law to back Trump's ultimatum. The Republican Study Committee introduced a sweeping bill to give Trump full authority to sanction Russia and its backers if the deadline is missed. The bill proposes total asset freezes on Russian state entities, secondary sanctions on Chinese and Iranian firms, caps on Russian oil profits and trade. This would allow Trump to act swiftly without Congress. Trump isn't acting alone. He's rallying legislative firepower. If passed, this bill turns an ultimatum into a loaded gun. Whether it fires depends on what happens by August 8th. Trump confirms Ukrainians can stay in US until war ends. Trump extended the Uniting for Ukraine program, allowing Ukrainian refugees to stay in the US until the war officially ends. Over 240,000 Ukrainians have entered under this program since 2022. The move reassures displaced families who feared deportation. Trump's tone shifted from previous skepticism toward more humanitarian messaging. This is a rare moment of clarity. The U.S. may be divided on foreign policy, but there's unity in offering refuge to Ukrainians. It's a reminder that standing with Ukraine isn't just about weapons, it's about people. Trump hits India with tariffs, sends warning to Putin's partners. Trump imposed steep tariffs on Indian imports, calling India's economy dead weight. But the real target wasn't Delhi, it was Moscow. India is still one of Russia's biggest oil customers. The tariffs are widely interpreted as proxy threat to all states hedging with Russia, including China and Iran. This isn't just a trade war, it's a power play. Trump is using tariffs like torpedoes. If you fuel Moscow's war, don't expect business as usual. Trump claims that 123,000 Russian soldiers have been killed in 2024, with 20,000 dead in July alone, and 8,000 of Ukrainian heroes gone. These numbers haven't been confirmed by the Pentagon or by Ukrainians. Trump used the figures to argue that Russia is losing badly. These numbers are more than stats, they're a framing tool. Trump is building a case that Putin is failing. Trump confirmed he ordered U.S. nuclear submarines into strategic waters in response to Medvedev's threats and reference to Dead Hand. Dead Hand is a Cold War doomsday protocol that auto-launches nukes if Russian leadership is destroyed. Trump took it seriously conspiracy and responded with deterrent deployments. Pentagon won't confirm if the subs are nuclear armed, but this isn't a drill. Trump is responding to Cold War threats with Cold War posture. But if dead hand is in play, the risk isn't just war, it's automation. And it's Russian engineering automation. Russian drone launchers found on US-made trucks. Investigators revealed that Ram trucks manufactured in the US were repurposed by Russia to launch kamikaze drones. Trucks entered Russia via United Emirates and one Virginia-based exporter. They were seen launching Iranian-made drones in Russian propaganda videos. This is more than an embarrassment, it's a failure of control. American goods are now part of Russian war machine, targeting civilians. Loopholes kill too. Especially loopholes. Oh my god, this huge fail by the GOP. The GOP American car post features Soviet-era Lada. The GOP posted a Make Automobiles Great Again graphic using Soviet Lada. The car is a relic of the USSR. Posting it during peak US-Russia tension drew heavy backlash. In a war of narratives, imagery matters, and using a Russian car to sell American power, that's how propaganda wins, even if it's by accident. This is so embarrassing and a huge fail. Russia proposes new peace format, but lacks substance. Russia proposed an online working group negotiation format days before Trump's August 8th deadline. No mention of Russian withdrawal, war crimes, or territory. Ukraine was excluded and dismissed it entirely. This isn't peace, it's PR, a fake format designed to confuse the West, buy time, and make Russia look reasonable. But Kiev and Washington aren't buying it. EU scandal. Russian oligarchs collect over 1 million in Tuscan vineyard subsidies. Sanctioned Russian oligarchs receive over 1 million in EU subsidies for Italian vineyards. Oligarchs like Konstantin Nikolaev used shell companies to access EU funds. This undercuts the EU's moral stance on sanctions. Europe can't claim moral leadership while funding the enemy's lifestyle. Putin's cronies sip Tuscan wine while Ukrainians fight for their lives. Russia's attacks are relentless, but so is Ukraine's spirit. If this video moved you, leave a comment. What will it take for the world to finally rise with Ukraine? Let me know in the comments. Like it, share it, and if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe to channel Yarochenko. Your support makes this possible. And if you'd like to help with production costs of the videos, buy me a coffee link is in the description box below. Because when you support truth, you're not just helping Ukraine, you're investing in a future where freedom wins. Thank you for being here. I'm Slavie and this is channel Yarochenko. As always, God bless America and Slava Ukraini.
On the target.